What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are finally back for the Mexican Grand Prix. Now I did put a video up yesterday for car, but if you did miss it, then I do urge you to go check it out in the top right hand corner of your screen. But it's been a few days since I've done a proper upload on the channel, and to be honest with you, I've just not been well recently. Just some pretty severe headaches and also just a bit of a stomach bug, but we're back on it, and after a few difficulties we are back and focused on trying to make a few videos. And I've got to be honest, I'm going to try and make this a daily upload a week, but after this it's going to pretty much be one day video and then one day no video, pretty much until the end of February. So basically about 3 or 4 videos a week, I reckon, for about a month or so, because I'm going to be getting crunch time very soon, based off of an update video I did a little while ago, about 2 weeks ago on the channel. But focusing on this race weekend now, and as you just saw in the background, we did practice at Mexico, and I was quite optimistic. The car felt pretty damn good, and overall practice was fine. We had a small issue with the tyre wear test, because the tyre was pretty high around here, and that is going to be the bane in our, I think, a thorn in our side this race weekend, because the tyre wear is now every weekend it's just becoming a bit more of an issue, and I've always struggled with rear tyres around this track, so I'm fully aware that we might be doing one more stop than everybody else's race weekend in the race. So keeping that in mind when it comes to my tyre strategies for qualifying. And as you can see, in Q1 we've opted for the super soft compound tyres, and we comfortably got through in 9th place with Massa 11th there on ultras only. So definitely got the edge of my teammate around here so far, and this track does suit our sort of low downforce car, especially in sectors 1 and 2. To be fair, 2, even though it's got a lot of bends, I can actually manage to get the car through there. The one where I struggle a bit is the final sector, to be fair, but as you can see, in Q2 now, we're all fastest in the first sector. We lost a little bit of time in the second, and we are going to lose a little bit more time in the third, but only a 10th shy of Lewis Hamilton there. So very encouraging until Sebastian Vettel decided to pump in a 1 minute 14. So I was still feeling pretty confident about my chances in Q3, and based off of my pace, I thought, you know what, I think I can have a good go at this, and hopefully that is the case. As you can see, in Q1 right now, Hamilton is fastest, but then going through the S's right at the end, I just get loose on the back end, and I cut the corner a bit and then have a really wide line, and I get invalidated for a track extend. So unfortunately, that lap is down the drain, so we're going to try and go one more time here in Q3, right before the checker flag goes out, and this has to be my one and done in terms of my lap, as after I bottled my first attempt. So let's hope this lap goes off to a bit of a better ending compared to the last one. But here we go, straight away into turn 1, down at 4th gear, bang on the 50-meter board, and you want to sacrifice the first and second corners to really completely focus on maximising your exit through the third one. Really attack the curbs, and then open up the DRS on this short square on the throttle as we now go down to turn number 4. And straight away in the first sector, we are just shy of Sebastian Vettel, so we sort of get the back end loose through turn 4, now flicking into turn 5, really trying to find the limits of the track here as we now go into this double apex right hand hairpin. Really nice line through there, but the back end just snaps at me once again there, the traction and the pressure of me trying to get this up together is really starting to get to me as we now go into the S section here, really throwing the car here and hoping it sticks. Now going through the part where we messed up last time, this time keeping the car pointing in the right direction, and we only have one more sector to go, and currently 3 tenths down on Sebastian Vettel as we now go to this next right hander into the baseball section, but we just run a bit wide, and unfortunately we invalidate our lap. I'm going to continue on here just to see what this lap would have been, but we run a bit wide, we invalidate our lap, so we are going to finish in P10. But as you can see out the final corner, and that lap would have been a very high 1 minute 19, around a 1 minute 19, 14.9, sorry. And if we look now at the final qualifying results with a confirmation there, P10 for us tomorrow, that would have probably given us just behind Perez there and just in front of Verstappen. So at best it would have been P6 on the third row of the grid. So slightly disappointing that we couldn't really convert that. Also a bit of a scruffy lap overall, so I definitely think if I'd hooked up a perfect lap, I think the top 5 would have been possible. I think I could have definitely beaten Perez, but either way, we don't often have a bad qualifying, and it's just one of them ones where we just made a mistake. To be fair, we struggled in the last one in Coach as well, but overall, not much we could do around here. But I'm feeling confident about the race tomorrow. I think we've got a good car underneath us, so hopefully we can do some damage tomorrow in the race. But overall, that was the story of Saturday qualifying. Sebastian Vettel taking pole ahead of Kimi Raikkonen as a title battle heats up there with a Mercedes second row. But we are now going to move into Sunday for round number 18 for the Mexican Grand Prix. Right, it's race time for the Mexican Grand Prix, and we are here on P10 in the grid after a pretty disappointing qualifying. But I'm looking forward to the race and hopefully trying to avenge some of our disappointing qualifying form and try and rectify that here today in this race. As you can see on screen, we are blessed with a little bit of rain in this race, and it won't be for very long. It's going to be just for the start of the race, and it will be very, very light from what I can tell, and it won't last that long from what I can also tell, and I'll show you guys in a moment. But first things first, obviously going into this race, I want to say we want to try and keep our title hopes alive, but realistically, like I said, that's not really what I'm looking at. You know, if I've got a chance in the last race, then I'll take it seriously. But right now, I'm still just outside of the window, so I sort of need, you know, Vettel or Raikkonen to have another poor race, which I can't really see happening. But you never know. We'll try our best. This track does suit our car quite nicely, so we can at least try and do some damage. I think the top 5 is where I want to finish today. That'll be a good result for me, and one that I'll be very happy with. But in terms of the race strategy for today, as you can see, we have rain right just at the very start of the race, not for very long, and this could drop almost immediately. So we've run a little bit lower on the fuel, only half a lap extra, just to save a bit in this early phase of the race, and obviously completely ignore the strategy on screen, as we will be using the dry tyres very soon. But the good thing about this wet weather is that it is going to mean the strategy and the tyres go out the window, so we can completely choose whatever tyres we want. So hopefully we can try and pull off some sort of strategy on the fly and maybe try and do one pit stop less. But I'm looking forward to this race. Hopefully we can have a good one here today and make it one to remember. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the race for round number 18 for the Mexican Grand Prix. Right, here we go. We're going to get ready for the 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix. And we're away, and it's a pretty okay getaway off the line. No major wheel spin, keeping it under control using the sort of lower revs. And we're going to cover off the inside line and try and pick up a slipstream from Esteban Ocon in front of us here. And Massa so far has got off to a fly up again past me, as we're now going to turn 1 for the first time this race. Taking it very easy and very cautiously here. Want to try and avoid having any front wing loss early on here. But it's a good start. We've got cars all over the track. We're going to try and set ourselves up for a move. Verstappen's a little bit slow off the corner. Going to use the short shifting method to try and get ahead of these guys. Going to add a little adjustment of the brake bars as well to try and move that a little bit further back. But we're up into P7 here, so very good start to the race. I do fancy myself on the brakes here on Ocon up the inside, and we make the move rather comfortably. So up into 6th place. Very good opening start to the Grand Prix. This is more or less where I expected to qualify had I hooked up my laps. So we've recovered the positions that I thought I should have had at the start of the race, and we can now focus on trying to attack this top 5, and let's see if we have any pace to keep up with these guys in these wet conditions, which traditionally haven't really been the best for this car. So I'm sort of intrigued to see how we cope with these, but let's try and settle down now and try and focus on the task in hand. My only concern this race is my gearbox. Now this could be an issue because obviously I'm pretty much on 60% wear, so I could miss a gear this race, so I've got to be very wary of that. And to be honest, I'm sort of expecting it to happen. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, there's not any real way I can manage except for shifting, not a lot. But in these conditions, I need to use all the gears that I have, to be honest. So we'll see how it goes. But for now, we're not having any major issues. So if we do set another personal best, pace is okay so far. We're not doing too bad. I did have a bit of a scruffy final sector there, admittedly, but not doing too bad. We're keeping up just about. The middle sector, I'm really struggling through the S's, but other than that, doing pretty good so far. So I'm just sort of holding out for the dry conditions. I've already got the soft compound tyres, which are the slowest ones available, selected, and we'll try and take those as far as we can into the race and take it from there. I don't have any fresh ultra softs remaining, so something to keep in mind for obviously in terms of our dry tyres. I definitely think as each race goes on, going into the next season, tyre wear is going to have to be a massive improvement. I mean, look how much tyre wear we have after pretty much 5 full racing laps. It's absolutely ridiculous. But either way, as you can see in the minimap in the top 4, or top 5 shall I say, no one's really pulling away. Like, everyone's staying fairly close together, so that's very good for us going to these dry conditions, which means we should be able to attack hopefully a couple of them if we can nail the strategy switch onto dries. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll work out for us. Okay, so the team want me to change this lap to dry tyres. It looks like everyone's coming in, so this probably is the time. So we're going to go ahead and basically, you know, follow our team's orders and come in for dry tyres. So there we go into the pit lane. Everyone at the moment, I think all the number 1 drivers of the team, you could say, are going to come in for dries as we hold up the Mercedes there. And looks like most of these guys are switching to super soft. So interesting strategies there. We are away, 2.1 start, pretty damn good in my opinion, one of the better ones we've had. But as you can see, we are going to rejoin back pretty much where he was behind Sergio Perez. But obviously, there's going to be a lot of guys on intermediate still. So we've got to be careful of those and wary of those. The track is still very damp, so we'll also be very careful of the actual circuit itself. But we're now on soft tyres, and we're going to try and just take this as far as we can into the race and see what we can do strategy-wise. Okay, so behind Pascal Verlaine, he's going to be very slowly on those inters, so I'm going to try and line him up for an overtake here, just getting the momentum around the outside and then just taking the inside at the next corner. The track is very slippery still, but we definitely have the superior tyres on the cars. Perez is trying to make a move, I think, on a McLaren. Yes, on Van Dorn, indeed it is. As he goes up the inside, we're going to just basically try and follow Perez because these slow cars on inters are an opportunity for us to get close to Perez and Hamilton, and we're definitely closer than what we have been on the intermediate. So straight away, the guys on inters do me a big favour, but now Van Dorn going very slowly here, coming into the pit lane, coming off of those intermediates. We're going to try and get the power down onto the main straight, and here we go, a little bit of clean air and some DRS for good measure. So here we go, open up the rear flap. There is Ocon, so we've managed to stay ahead of him quite comfortably, and we've got Perez and Hamilton going side by side, duking it out, and Perez overtaking Lewis Hamilton now. So we're going to sort of follow suit here. I've run a little bit hot on the brakes into turn one. Grip's still not there yet on these tyres, very hot on the brakes in fact, but luckily in these conditions you can sort of get away with it, as you've got Bottas just in front of Perez there. So no real major position shifts, and I think the Ferraris are pretty much neck and neck as well. But now let's see what our pace is like on this tyre, as I believe I'm the only person, I'm the highest placed person on this tyre in the top 10. So if we can keep up with the pace, I'll be very impressed. Okay, out of turn 3, we've had a good exit. Hamilton unfortunately does have DRS on Sergio Perez, but his pace is not great, so we're looking pretty dangerous here. Purple first sector. Perez was the fastest man last time round, and we're definitely faster than the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton here. So this is very encouraging signs early on, and we're pretty much the fastest person after Perez. So this is looking very good so far, as not even Sebastian Vettel could go faster. I think Kimi Raikkonen, whoever was the lead Ferrari that pit, they couldn't actually do the fastest lap. So we're looking very good so far here, but the question is, as the track dries out, will these cars in front eventually find the pace? But for now, the longer this lasts, the better it suits me, and I think Hamilton might be out of DRS this lap. Okay, Lewis does not have DRS, so this is a chance for us if we can just get a good run out of turn 3. It's not too bad. We are a little bit far back, but we do have a lot of straight line speed, but I don't think I'm going to get close enough to really go for a move on the Brit, and we're going to have to settle behind him for a little bit longer here. But we're looking good so far. The track is now really starting to dry up, so we're going to now really start to see the difference in pace. The Ferraris are only just up the road here, so strategy-wise, like I said, because of our tyres, it suits us really nicely to be this close to these guys. So we just got to try and keep it up for as long as we can. I'm driving very smoothly and shifting very early to not burn out my rear tyres at all, and trying to keep them in as long as possible, because the rear tyres are the key around this circuit. As you can see, they're very nicely balanced with the side and fronts. So this is very important for us, and this is some very good period of the race so far. Okay, a virtual safety car has just been called out. I don't know what's happened. I don't know who's retired, but VSC nonetheless. That's going to buy us a little bit of time to save these tyres. I don't think I'll be able to get these to the end of the race, but you know, if I can just be on super softs at the end and only do one more stop, then I'll be looking pretty good, and I'll be sort of eradicating the tyre wear deficit that I have, because I know these guys around me will probably one stop until the end now, so they were coming for one more onto softs, and that is it. But obviously me, with my tyre wear, I need these sort of things for me to try and get me to my tyre wear stint, and also my tyre life, get it, you know, dragged out as long as possible. So this suits me very nicely. Okay, Esteban Ocon though, unfortunately, has timed the VSC beautifully, and he's got a really good run on me now down the pit straight. And he has got super softs on the car, so I'm not going to battle him too hard, and I'll let him take the position because I don't really want to be wasting much time. So I'm going to brake a little bit early for turn 1 and let him take the place, because if he's faster than Hamilton, then I'd rather he drag me towards him. So let's just watch this all unfold before our eyes. Right now, you can definitely notice now the track's really drying up. Those on supers are just starting to find a bit of pace now, but the longer we keep this up, the better. Felipe Massa out of the race again. Another retirement for my teammate. Just goes to show the reliability in this car just not good enough, and it's catching up to Massa at least. I mean, I've used 6 power units this season compared to the 4 I managed to pull out the bag last season. So reliability, just like tyre wear, is going to have to be something we need to focus on over the winter with this car to really make it a more consistent package. Okay, Max Verstappen is now within my DRS, and he's pushing hard, and he's actually got some pretty good pace. He might have a go into turn 1. I don't know if he's going to get close enough, and I know he isn't. He's not going to commit to the move, but I'm definitely not at pace with this tyre, but I don't feel miles off. Like, I was only half a tenth off my personal best last time round, so I'm not miles away. I just don't really have that little edge of pace. And if you look at the minimap, you can still see all the same suspects in the same sort of part of the track as me. So we're not doing too bad. It's just I'm sort of hoping their super softs start to wear out. My softs are keeping up more or less as expected, if not I'd say slightly better. I reckon I can probably get to about lap 22 or 23, but I don't know if I can do 13 laps on super soft, so I'm sort of weighing up my options at the minute. Okay, I've cranked up into rich mix, Hamilton and also Raikkonen in the pit lane. I don't think we're going to get Raikkonen. I think he's a bit too far ahead, or is he? Actually, yeah, we might have a go here, I think. We've got some slipstream and some rich mix flowing, so here we go. We're close to Kimi. He's going to be a little bit slow on the brakes, but he's not that bad, to be fair. Much better than I expected on the colder tyres, so Raikkonen will just get in front of me and stay in front, but I'm in rich mix now, so I'm going to try and push for a couple of laps. And also try and drag out these tyres. So sort of basically I'm using the rich mix to compensate for my tyre wear. So hopefully we can try maybe pit around lap 23 or 24. I reckon if I can get to 24, that'd be a nice safety net for me to pit in for super softs. Okay, a couple more super soft, or super soft runners switching onto softs. This time Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas. So we're now up into P4. Still pushing on here. That wasn't too bad, but like I said, my main concern is tyre wear. I'll let you guys sort of look at it on screen as I negotiate these first 3 corners, but I'm going to have to definitely dive into maybe like around 60% wear before I come into pit lane. And also, my tyres will be pretty worn at the end of the race, but there's no way I'm pitting twice. I'm going to have to try and force myself to do the one stop. Okay, Seb is all over my rear ender here, and we're going to be pretty much under pressure from him. Although, because I'm in rich mix, my straight line speed is pretty damn good, so Sebastian might struggle to pass me into turn 1 at least, so we'll survive for a little bit longer here. Sebastian will just remain and just keep on putting the pressure on, but if we could get a safety car now or VSC, that would be brilliant. I mean, I prefer a safety car. VSC would not make my tyres last, but here comes Sebastian. He's going to look for the outside, actually, interestingly enough, into this next brake zone, so I'm going to fight him a little bit because, you know, I want the better racing line, and we're going to cover the inside. Sebastian's still there, a little bit of contact, just trying to pitch him into the apex. Seb's still on my inside. This is costing me valuable time now with me staying out, so I'm just going to let Sebastian take it. He's got more grip on those tyres, so fair play to him. I'm going to understeer wide there, just a lack of grip on these tyres now. You can really notice the difference there as Sebastian drives up the road without me, so we're just trying to hang on here for a couple more laps on these tyres. My pace isn't terrible, as you just saw. I did a personal best last lap, albeit rich mix assisted, like I said, but that's the reason I'm using it, to try and compensate for my lack of tyres. So we've been fairly consistent in that regard in this entire stint. I've just got to hold on for about 2 more laps. Okay, here we go through the baseball stadium. We're going to come into the pit lane for my final stop of the race and onto a set of super soft compound tyres. Let's get it all slowed down for the pit entry. There we go. Absolutely perfect. Perez, the man on super softs, who's gone for a bit of an alternate strategy. The full cylinders obviously definitely have the best tyre out of everybody here, and both Perez and Ocon have opted for for supers compared to everyone else who's gone to the softs. So the full cylinders could be pretty damn dangerous in this final stint. They could make some serious moves in this final stint of the race. There is Verstappen going by, and here is Ricciardo not too far behind. So I think our battle today is going to be beating both of the Red Bulls, and if we can do that and finish in P7, I'll be pretty happy. Like I said, we've now got supers to the end of the race. I'm still not confident I'm going to get to the end of the race on the best state of tyres. That's how bad our tyre wear is with this car now. But obviously I've stayed out as long as I could. My softs just now were nearing 70%, so I had to come off them. I couldn't do another lap because I was losing too much time. So let's have a little bit of fun this final stint and try and stretch our legs on these fresh tyres. Okay, so we've got some lap traffic in the form of Marcus Ericsson. Ricciardo's going to lap him first. I'm just going to try and follow Ricciardo through here and hopefully not lose too much time. And that's exactly what we've done. And that's put us right on the back of the Honey Badger now. So let's try and set up Ricciardo for a move. I've got loads of grip on these tyres, so I've got to put it to good use before these start to fade away very rapidly. So here we go. We're going to try and get past Ricciardo, first time of asking, and then try and hunt down his younger teammate, Max Verstappen. So here we go. DRS wide open. No need for rich mix. I'm saving the rich mix I have left for later on once his tyres do fade. Exact same thing as the last thing. We're going to pull to the inside on Danny Rick and then switch back out to the outside there. A little bit of a chopping manoeuvre to try and cut off the slipstream, but we made the move and we're past Daniel Ricciardo and some double DRS in the process. And now let's go hunt down Max Verstappen. 1 minute 17.4, and we're catching Verstappen pretty quickly here. Also, we're pulling away from Ricciardo already, and like I said, I'm only in standard mix, so it's looking pretty good. Also, tyre wears are pretty good as well, so better than I expected. So we're doing so good, so far so good. Okay, out of the final corner, I'm now finally within DRS of Max Verstappen. His pace has been pretty good, and these super softs have worked nicely, but not phenomenally. I really need a little bit more pace from these, but here we go. First stab of DRS on Max Verstappen. Are we close enough for a move into turn 1? Probably, but I'm going to hang back and wait for it. I'm going to play it safe because I don't want to cause any mistakes or make any grave errors, as I want to try and guarantee this 7th place. So here we go, DRS for the second bite of the cherry this time, and unlike Lewis Hamilton, it should be a little bit easier. We are still pretty far away, but I'm going to have a look on the brakes anyway. I've got the tyres, and we're going to sort of barge our way through there. Verstappen's going to try and hold it around the inside, but no way through there. We comfortably make the move on the brakes. Got loads of grip on these tyres, and so far so good. Up in the P7 now, so tyre we're looking pretty good. We're looking like it's all under control, but I'm still a little bit concerned at the end. I might have some struggles, so I sort of need to open up a gap now to Verstappen before the end of the race, and therefore I will dip into the rich mix probably next lap or the one after that. Oh, Perez out of the race. Perez out of his home race with pretty much 1 lap to go in terms of where he is on that part of the circuit. So Sergio Perez dropping out of his home race. The home fans will be incredibly disappointed with that one, and that's going to promote me into P6. So a late little present in this race for me as we drive past the casualty in the final stages of the Grand Prix. So we're now up in the 6th place, and we're going to go to the last lap, and we've managed to make it on the tyre situation and also on the fuel. And also we've opened up about a 4-second gap to Verstappen behind. So overall, it's been pretty okay and pretty comfortable, but now we've got to try and nurse the car home for one more lap in this race. As you can see, fuel's okay, tyres are pretty much there or thereabouts, and overall we managed to survive also with the gearbox, which obviously was another issue in this race because of the amount of wear we had on it. So luckily we'll have a new gearbox in for the last 2 races of the season, so it's good that we've managed to exercise that issue, and we can pretty much say it's a pretty good race for us. But anyway, I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. Let's try and bring the car home first. Here we go through the baseball section for the final time. Confetti in the air to celebrate the race win from, I believe, Kimi Räikkönen. But here we go through the final corner, and I'm going to come home for a brilliant P6, and I'm very happy with that result. I did say top 5 at the start of the race, but you know what, realistically speaking, the teams of Mercedes, Ferrari and Force India are just far too strong. Red Bull, even though they're in that mix, they're just not as fast as their R&D suggests, and I can comfortably beat the Red Bulls, but the Pink Panthers, Silver Arrows and Prancing Horses are a little bit too quick for our car. But hopefully we can remedy that over the winter. I don't expect a massive performance boost over the winter this season. I've got to be honest. I mean, we will make progress, but because all we've got left is ultimate upgrades, we won't be able to do many of them. And also, I do really need to improve the reliability and tyre wear. So realistically, there could only be like one upgrade in the aero. Maybe. I mean, I'm clutching at straws here, but we'll have to wait and see nearer to the time. But either way, that was Mexico, and we're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructor standings. Okay, looking at the final race results, as you can see, Kimi Räikkönen wins ahead of Sebastian Vettel with a 1-2 for Ferrari, and they have officially wrapped up the Constructors' World Championship in this race. So congratulations to them, and once again back on top for the Scuderia after we managed to win with Mercedes last season. But as you can see, Ocon rounds up the podium, brilliant 3rd place for him after starting at 8th place on the grid. Both of the Mercedes cars miss out, with Hamilton and Bottas in 4th and 5th line astern, with myself in P6 just ahead of Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo. Julian Palmer and Kevin Magnussen rounding out the points with good recovery drives from those guys, and then from Carlos Sainz downward everybody else got lapped, with Sergio Perez and Matteo Felipe Massa unfortunately DNFing from the race. But in terms of the driver standings, you can see that we are now 49 points adrift, so it's pretty much impossible now for us to win the championship. With 50 points on the board if we win both races, and Raikkonen only scores 1 point or none, it's pretty much a write-off. So it's going to go head-to-head between the two Ferraris with 11 points between them with 2 races to go. It's going to go right down to the wire. But in terms of the constructors, as you can see, official confirmation that Ferrari have won, with Force India comfortably in 2nd place, and they should wrap that up hopefully in the next race. And we're only 30 points behind Mercedes, so I don't know. I think, you know, if Massa had retired or something today, if we got a couple of points, it would have helped. I think we're going to need a miracle, though, in terms of maybe having a Mercedes retire or two in both of the next races. But either way, we are now going to move into the laptop. Right, so looking at the laptop, no real things to point out here, except for now, as you can see, as it stands, we have 2,136 resource points. So we're slowly building that up, and hopefully we can put that towards a big amount of upgrades at the end of the season. We still have 2 more practice sessions and race weekends to get through in this season, but I'm looking forward to seeing how many points we can put away and basically invest into next season's car. But nonetheless, guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode. If you have, then please do smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for future F1 content. Also, please be sure to check out these videos on screen if you have missed them by chance. And also, please be sure to check out GT Omega in the links down below in the description. Use the code Tom97, 45% discount at checkout on any of your purchases. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.